Locho sampo pa gyu trashi pa tuje tempe chinle yarngoda. Pege drolo zambe zebrachi pande lame shabla solvade. Omo a guru vajradara suma timoni shasane kar. Uta vardani shribar varsa manya sarva siddhi hum. Om Guru Vajrad Sumati Muni Shasane Kar Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Om Guru Vajra Sumati Muni Shasane Kar Uta Vardani Shri Bhadra Varsa Manya Sarva Siddhi Hum Pakyuke kodan dagi lo, pakyuke sondan dagi nga, pakyuke tukdan dagi, ten yerme chikto jingi lo. Makyuke kodan dagi lo, makyuke sondan dagi nga, makyuke tukdan dagi, ten yerme chikto jingi lo. Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Svoha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Soha Om Muni Muni Mahamuni Shakyamuni Swaha. Sangye chodan soge chonamla chancho pardo dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gibe sonamgi drola pinchira sangye druparasho. Sangye chodan soge chonamla chancho pardo dani kyapsu chi dagi jinso gibe sonamgi drola pinchira sangye drupar. Sangye chodan tsoge chonamla chancho pardo dani kyapsu chi jinso gibe sonamgi drola pinchira sangye druparasho. In the Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment. Through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. So, I was thinking between yesterday and today what teachings to give during these 4 days that we have still, what to share. And then this morning I had few ideas, but finally I thought, okay, the best would be to give a short commentary on the prayer of refuge and bodhicitta. In the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment. With the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I reach Buddhahood for the benefit of all sentient beings. We always do this prayer. Sangye Chodan Soge Chonamla is in the beginning of every practice, everywhere. And it's important for us actually to understand better its meaning. And every practice that we do, every prayer that we recite, actually, there are 3 aspects that need to be taken into consideration, which is the meaning of the words. What are we reciting? the visualization to do, and the state of consciousness to generate. Okay? So even 4 days are not enough to see these 4 lines. We need much more really to go deep into it. But I think we can get in a sort of middle way. We can get a quite nice explanation, and we may be able to complete all these 3 steps of what is the meaning of the words, the visualization, and the state of consciousness that we need to generate. So that when we do the prayer normally, we are not just like making Sangha, then we are thinking, okay, what I have for lunch today, We need to get at the meaning, we need to connect to it. And for that is also important to understand. So I would like to go through this today and these next days together. And the prayers that we do, they are like a map. Basically, their function is to direct our mind. Okay. And instead of making big introductions, I think we just go directly to the words gradually, because there is a lot to see. And the prayer itself will introduce itself. We don't need to make a lot of introduction to it. So, in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge until enlightenment. In order for us to understand this verse, well, first thing we need to understand is what is Buddha, what is the Dharma, what is the Sangha, what it means to take refuge, and what do we mean by enlightenment, and why would we ever want to reach enlightenment. So actually, only for these first 2 lines we can stay here 2-3 months. There's a lot if we go into deep details about it, okay? So let's start from the beginning. And we say in the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. First question is, what is a Buddha? What is the Dharma? What is the Sangha? If we don't have a clear idea about it, it's just like saying, I take refuge in Ba, in Bi, and in Bo. I don't know, whatever, okay? We say something because everybody always took refuge in Ba, Bi, and Bo. Okay, I also take refuge in Ba, Bi, and Bo. But what does it mean? I don't know. It's something sacred, but I don't know what it is, So instead, it's important for us to understand what we mean by Buddha, what we mean by Dharma, what we mean by Sangha, what are the qualities, why can we take refuge, why can we trust Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. All of this is important. So the first step is understanding what is a Buddha, what is the Dharma, what is the Sangha. The Buddha doesn't refer necessarily to the historical Buddha, Buddha Shakyamuni. Sure, when we take refuge also in Buddha Shakyamuni as a historical Buddha. But it goes beyond the actual figure of one person that reached enlightenment, Buddha Shakyamuni. It's a state of mind that many beings have reached. The state of being is not even a state of mind, it's much beyond, it's a state of being that many sentient beings have reached. So, we have many, many different Buddhas. So when we talk about a Buddha, as it says in Tibetan, Sangye, now when we're having the first prayer, Sangye Chodan Sogye Chonamla. Sangye means Buddha. Sang literally means to eliminate, to clear away. Ge means to develop. So it means the one that have cleared away all mental defilements and that has developed completely all his qualities to their maximum potential. We could even say, it's not really precise, but we could say it's like rich enlightenment is like developing our own human potential to its maximum capacity. Some people sometimes said, reaching enlightenment is like using our brain at its 100% capacity. Okay, whatever. These are just ways of trying to explain it. But let's try to understand first, what are the qualities of a Buddha? It's very important for us to have a mental image of a Buddha, to be able to imagine a Buddha, no? Okay, how would be a Buddha? It would be like, if I reach enlightenment, when I reach enlightenment, how will I be? Like this, like that. We need to have some idea. We need to make some friendship. We need to get more near to the concept of a Buddha. One of the ways that help to do that is through the understanding of the 5 wisdoms. Because all the qualities of a Buddha, whenever we talk about the Buddhas, all the qualities of a Buddha are a development of aspects that we have right now. Nothing that are disconnected from what we are right now. So one of the ways of talking about that for me is really, I like very much, is the 5 wisdoms. And yesterday a person made a question to me, which is a very important question, which is actually saying, how does the Buddha know that he have reached enlightenment? What are the signs of having reached enlightenment? You know? Also because sometimes some people came to me saying, oh, I reached enlightenment. And I said, oh, wonderful. Do you still get angry? Yes, so sorry. The enlightenment you think you reached is not what we mean by enlightenment. You know? So, normally we have to understand the process of enlightenment, we have what is called the 5 paths. There's the path of accumulation called Tsoglam in Tibetan, path of preparation Jorlam, path of seeing Tonglam, path of meditation Gomlam, the path of no more learning Miloblam. Enlightenment, it's when we reach the path of no more learning. In between, there are these 5 paths are actually like milestones on the path to enlightenment. So it's very precisely described. Okay, where are we on our path to enlightenment? According to the experiences we have, the state of our mind, we can understand in which of the 5 steps we are. Okay? But we're not going to enter into details on that right now. That will take very long, and that's not the point which I want to go through. And slowly we will reach what means to reach the Miloblam, the path of no more learning. Before that, to understanding well what is a Buddha, one of the things that for me have helped a lot is understanding better the meaning of the 5 wisdoms. The 5 wisdoms are 5 aspects of the mind that are represented, for example, through the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. So we have the 5 Dhyani Buddhas, as Amoghasiddhi, Ranasambhava, and so on, in the 5 colors. And they are representations of the qualities of a Buddha, qualities that we also have developed at their maximum potential. So each one of the wisdom is connected to one of the 5 Dhyani Buddhas. But these 5 wisdoms are aspects of the mind that we have right now. And this is very important for us to understand. The 5 Dhyani Buddhas represent our aspects developed at the maximum potential. So through understanding the 5 wisdoms, we can have a better idea of how is a Buddha, what is a Buddha. So the first one, connected to Buddha Amoghasiddhi, is the all-accomplishing wisdom. Okay. Then we call Chadrup Yeshe. The all-accomplishing wisdom, we can divide it into 2 types. There is the Shitu Chadrup Yeshe and Dretu Chadrup Yeshe. Shi means base, Dre means result. So we have the all-accomplishing wisdom of the base, which means what we have right now. And then we have the all-accomplishing wisdom of the result, which is the state of a Buddha. So we need to see both of them. Let's start by seeing the all-accomplishing wisdom of the basis, which we all have, and somehow we could call the little accomplishing wisdom. It's not accomplishing all, it's accomplishing quite little, but it is actually of the same nature. So what is that? It's the part of our mind. It's the aspect of our mind which says, I want to do this, I don't want to do that. It's the basis of choice, which we are constantly doing. We are constantly acting. It's the basis of our mind that directs us to action. What I say, how I say, when I say, do I go, I don't go, what I do, which face I make, I better not to show, better to show, I follow this thought, I don't follow that thought, what I do, what I don't do. This is basically all-accomplishing wisdom. It's a part of our mind that is making choices related to actions. Actions of body, actions of speech, actions of mind. So we are constantly making these choices, actually. All the time. We're not able to have experienced 1 minute without making actions. Even if we say, I don't want to do anything, not doing anything means we are doing something. It's by itself a choice, it's by itself an action. The fact is that our all-accomplishing wisdom is a little bit underdeveloped, let's call it like that. So what happens is that we have doubts and we have fear. Uncertainty. I do this or I don't do it. I do or I don't do. Maybe I do, maybe I don't do. If I do, that may happen, so I'm afraid of the result. If I don't do, what happens? Shall I say or shall I not say? I go or I don't go? We have a lot of doubts. We have a lot of uncertainties. So this is the all-accomplishing wisdom not being fully developed of the basis where we are right now. How would be the all-accomplishing wisdom of a Buddha? Is the total certainty, without any doubt, of every action, every word, every thought, every choice. Every action is done with certainty, without any of this shaking mind. I do, I don't do, what it is and what. So it's completely beyond that. So it's the ability to have always completely certainty about what is the best for myself and others. Actually, just this wisdom by itself is already quite enough. If we think, okay, I don't need the other 4 wisdoms, only to get this is already quite very good. Imagine that we are able simply to have no any more doubts about any action. We just act. Not only we don't have doubts, but our actions are correct. Because sometimes we have doubts, but we don't do the right stuff. Okay, this is even worse. Sometimes it's good to doubt if we are doing the right thing. But Buddha, they have certainty, and if they are correct, that every action they do is the best that can be done for oneself and for others. Randen and sentient, we say in Tibetan. For one's own sake and for others' sake. Rang means oneself, shen means other, ten means meaning, sake. Rangten, one's own sake, shenten, others' benefit. So the Buddha have no doubt at any moment of any action for oneself and for others. So this is the first aspect of a Buddha. We can start from many places, but one of the first aspects of a Buddha, one of the first qualities, is the all-accomplishing wisdom, which we have right now, but is fully developed. And it's always important to make this connection between where I am now and where I can become as a Buddha. So now I make choices, but I have doubts. A Buddha makes choices, but have no doubts. Have the certainty in every action. Okay. So, the next 2 wisdoms, I like to explain them together because they somehow are complementary. And the first is the wisdom of Buddha Ratnasambhava, which is called the wisdom of equanimity. And then we have the wisdom of Buddha Amitabha, which is the wisdom of discernment, of the wisdom or the wisdom that realizes each one. Sosortopeyeshe. Nyamnyeshe, the wisdom of equanimity. There is, as always, the wisdom of the basis and the wisdom of the result. The wisdom of the basis of equanimity is our ability, since this very right moment, to see the similarities between things and put them together in a group. So I look at all of you, and I see, okay, you are different, but you are all human beings. At least that's how it looks to me. But I look to you and I say, you are all human beings. Then I can divide, and I say, okay, there is a group of men and there is a group of women. I can divide by those that are tall or those that are short. I can divide by those that have black hair, those that are blonde, those that have no hair, I don't know. We can divide into groups. What does that mean? Our ability to see the similarities and put them together. I tried sometimes to imagine how would be my mind if I didn't have the ability to put things together in the groups. It's crazy. We would be completely lost. So this is the ability that we have right now. And it's fundamental for our survival, let's call it that. But when it's not fully developed, we see similarities and some similarities we don't see. And by seeing, I do not mean to see conceptually, which is also good, but it means to experience the similarities, to feel them deeply within us. So, for example, when we are in front of other people, of sentient beings, we look to others and then we say, okay, yes, we are similar, but we still give more importance to the division than to what unites us. A Buddha has a very clear ideal that's saying, okay, we are all interdependent, every phenomena. We are here, we are impermanent. At the same time, as human beings, as sentient beings, we all suffer. We all want to be happy. We all do everything we do thinking is the best for our happiness. So there is no difference between one and the other. It's possible to put everyone in the same plane. So it's relating to each other based on that. So on the basis of relationship with others, there is the basis of equanimity, the basis of the similarities, that we are equal to each other. Nowadays, we are not so much able to do that because we are based on our selfishness, so the I and the mine. So, okay, I see that you are similar to me if I like you. If I don't like you, no, you are not similar to me, We have difficulties connecting to the part that we are equal. So, a Buddha has this beautiful ability of constantly being in contact with all the similarities that we have between each and every phenomena. So this is something that is very important. But without losing the ability to see the differences of each and every one, which is the next wisdom, which is the wisdom of discernment, or the wisdom of discrimination, or the wisdom that realizes each one, which is the Sosor Tokpe Yeshe in Tibetan, of Buddha Amitabha, which is the ability to discern between one thing and the other. Okay, these are all tables, but one is yellow, the other is blue, the other is red. They are whole human beings, but some of them are men, some of them are women. Okay, this person is like this person has that character, this one has this and that. I am able to discern, to name things, and to divide one thing from the other and understand. When we talk about discernment, it's the ability actually of putting parts together and giving a name to it. If we didn't have the ability of discernment, everything would be just one. Boof. We're not able to put things together. So, it's a very important aspect of our mind. It's like when we look to flowers, like the flowers that we have here in front of me. I look to the flowers, there is the wisdom of equanimity because I see they are all flowers. At the same time, there is the wisdom of discernment. Some are red, others are white, there is green, there is one small, big, and so on. I can see the differences between each one of them. It's like looking at a group of people, seeing that all of them suffer, all of them want to be happy. So I put everybody on the same plane without the differences between them. Like we call human rights, we're all equal. Yes, we are all equal. But we are different, each one of us. And I know how to relate specifically. I don't know, but if I was a Buddha, I would know how to relate specifically to the need and the capacity of each and every one. Because at the same time that I see their equal qualities, at the same time, I also see their differences and their particular characteristics. This is also one of the qualities of the Buddha. And it's because of this quality also that the Buddha is able to teach to each and every one in accordance to their needs and capacities, because the Buddha can make the distinction between one and the other, and what are their needs, in which moment of their life they are, what they are experiencing, how it is or it's not. So this is something which is very special also to have. So these two qualities, they are complementary. They need to go together. The ability to put all at the same level and at the same time to see the difference between them. It's just as the example we just made of the flowers. They are all flowers, but each one of them is different. The fact that each one of them is different is not making them not to be equal as flowers. Okay? We can have many different levels of this equanimity and discernment. So the Buddha have this totally developed. Okay? We are a little bit blocked. But this is like, it's even sometimes when we say we're a little bit blocked, it means very often we are not able to at the same time see the equal aspect and see the particular aspect and put them together. It's like even it happens sometimes like one father or a mother, parents relating to their own children. They say, oh, they are all equal as my children. Yes. And they must be treated all equal as being one's own children. But they must also be treated with the respect of their own different capacities and different abilities, and as being different human beings with different characteristics. So, sometimes we're not able to put the two things together. So we say, oh, I need to do the same to all of them because they are equal. I had some long discussions with some people when we talk about what is the best way to treat people in a way of equanimity, in an equal way. For me, to treat people equally doesn't mean to do exactly the same thing to everyone. It means to respect the specific characteristics of each and every one and act with the same love, with the same intention of helping, with the same attitude, giving the same strength to each one, but acting in accordance to their needs. So this means putting together the discernment and the equanimity. These two things need to go together, but often we are not able to put the two together. We think that if it's all equal, then we need to be the same. Being equal doesn't mean to be the same. And being different doesn't mean that it cannot be equal. I don't know if it's clear, this concept, but it's very important. So a Buddha has these two fully developed. We don't have them well developed, and that's why we create conflict, and we are not able to, at the same time, see the differences, and at the same time put together as equal. We have difficulties doing this very often. Not always, not on everything, but we also have this difficulty. So this is one of the other aspects that we need to develop. So when we think about a Buddha, first of all, a Buddha is someone that has no doubt in every action, that is able to relate to everything in an equal way, without losing the specific characteristics of each and every one. Okay. So, the next wisdom, very important one, is called the mirror-like wisdom of Buddha Vairochana, which is the mirror-like wisdom. If we follow the metaphor, it represents a mirror that can reflect at the same moment so many different things. So if we take anything, like this is a sort of mirror, it's not the best mirror, but I can see my face, I can see some mandalas in it, it's reflecting. So one of the qualities of a mirror is that the mirror has this ability to reflect. But at the same time, the mirror can reflect many things. So if I put a mirror here, it's going to reflect many people, many objects at the same time. Okay? So what the mirror does, an information arrives, and the mirror reflects that information. Okay? Similar to that, a lot of information is coming to our mind every moment through our 6 senses. And what we do to all that information, we are aware or we are not aware of it. Okay? So even there is one scientific research which one time I heard about, in which it said that, according to some neuroscientific research, it says that on every second, the brain receives around 2 billion informations a second. Okay? The 2 billion information that we receive every second from all our senses. It regards time, it regards space, it regards what we see, what we listen, what we touch, and everything else. Like, it's a lot of stuff that comes to our brain every second. But from the 2,000 information that we receive, we are aware of from the 2 billion informations that we receive, we are aware only of 2,000. And we use the ability of our brain in a very small part. And we are aware of almost nothing, actually, Sometimes I think not even 2,000, maybe 20, Sometimes we get down to very little even. So, it's like the amount of information that we receive, it's incredibly big. But we are not really aware of all the information that is coming. So what does it mean, the ability to develop the mirror-like wisdom? Is to gradually clean the mirror of our mind so we can reflect more things. It's to be able to see what is around us. Which is not to go beyond, it's just to open our mind to be aware of what is already there. So there's 2 examples, very simple things, but One time I used to go to see one doctor in Nepal. His name was Dr. Manavajra. Dr. Manavajra, he was a very incredible Ayurvedic doctor. He was the doctor of the king of Nepal at the time, and he was extremely respected. And even though he was like this, he always kept his clinic in a very simple way. So where he would receive the patients, he had a little chair where he would sit with a bench in the front, a little stool, like a small chair where people would sit. Then he had a bed and just a curtain in front of the bed. And then on the other side, like 2 meters far away, not far, without any division, there were some benches where people would wait. And you would just go there. You don't need to make an appointment, nothing. You just go there, wait, and then when it's your turn, he will see you. But he will see the person in front of everyone else. And he will talk very loud. Oh, okay, so what do you have, and this and that. And he will so no any concept of privacy that we have. But he was an incredible doctor. And it happened for me. He helped me very much before I was doing retreat one time. I went there, I had some problems. It was incredibly good. I used to have pain here. Pain that started here and ended up in my finger here. And it was very strong, and I had difficulty when writing and also when meditating. I used to have this pain. So I was thinking, I went to some doctors, they said, I need to do something here, whatever. And then I went to him and he said, oh, that's your liver. Because the liver purifies the blood, the liver is not functioning well enough, and because of that you're not purifying the blood in the correct way, and this gives problem of circulation, and then you get that pain. So he gave me some medicines for the liver. After 2 weeks, I had no more pain. He was an incredible doctor. His medicines were really not good taste. It was really terrible medicines. But anyhow, what I wanted to say was that he had this ability that I saw it 2 times. One time with a person that was accompanying me, another time with someone else. The person would come together, and then after he would see, for example, he saw me one time, and then he asked my friend that was together, and you? He said, no, I am fine. I'm just here to accompany my friend. No, you have that and that symptom, don't you? You have this and that problem. And he was describing the symptoms of the person, And he had not even touched him or anything. He didn't. And the person would look to him saying, oh, this guy is making magic or whatever, like clairvoyant. And people would look strange. And they say, oh, how come? He said, the way how you walk, your face is showing me. Everything is printed in our face. If we are lying, if we are not lying, if we are sincere, if we feel attachment, if we feel aversion, everything is manifested there. But we don't know how to see it, most of us. This doctor, he had this incredible ability of learning how to read the health of people in people's faces and people's behavior and people's way of being. So he would see the person and he would know what you have. And for me, this is the best type of doctor. Sincerely, I don't like much when I need to make 25 exams and then from the exams I get a result. This is my own personal thing, but for me, this type is like the doctor per excellence. It's you just go, he even don't need to touch you. Just by looking, by feeling you, he can say you have this, and that, don't you? And it was always very precise. Another example is so all of us, we have this information constantly, but we don't know how to read them. One time I was together with Peach, the husband of my mother. He's here these days also. And one time we went together some years ago here in Albagnano to the forest around. And as we were walking in the forest, and we were together with him, it was like going to a place I have never been before. Even though I have walked there so many times. He was starting to show the place and show, oh, you see this tree is here, this is connected to that other plant, and this is making this effect on that one. Oh, you see this place, it has a lot of water because you have this type of plant coming here. And wherever you have a lot of water, you have a lot of the lightning come to that place. So if you want to know where the lightning is coming, you look where you see this plant because you know where is water. And then we were saying, oh, really? And then we were looking, and then wherever there was this plant, we would look up, and there was a tree that got lightning. This was just one of the many examples. And for me, it was suddenly closing the eyes, opening, and being in a completely different place. It was almost like magic. It's wow. looking at reality in a complete different way, opening my eyes to things I couldn't see before. So this is like all the information is there, but we are not able to see it. We are not able to perceive it because our mirror is a little bit dirty. Some information arrive and we cannot see it. We cannot understand it. So a Buddha is someone whose mirror is completely clean. That every information that arrives, he's able to process it and to perceive it. So we could say a Buddha is someone that is aware of the 2 billion informations that receive in every second instead of the 2,000. In the sense that there are 5 types of omnisciences. This type of omniscience, which is referred to the mirror-like wisdom, refers to all the information that arrives at every moment through the senses. But our senses are much more powerful than what we know. Okay? Even the other day I was talking to my mom, she was explaining me there are 2 types of touch. There is the passive touch and active touch. And there is the reptile touch. I don't know how to call it in English. It's the one that blind people use, for example. Blind people, they know when there is a wall in front of them. And it's not because of they have been there many times, it's a sort of touch. There is this very subtle type of touch where we can feel things without needing to touch them physically. And it's not connected necessarily to the sound even. It's like we are in front of something, we know the thing is there. It's like an inner touch. It's also called the inner touch and outer touch. So our senses are much more powerful than what we believe. It's just we get lost only because of what we see and what we listen, and we think that that's the only thing that exists. But actually it's much deeper than that. So we could say that a Buddha is someone that uses all his senses in a complete full way. And every information that arises, he's full aware of it. Okay, and we could add the fact that he has complete perfect memory of all the perceptions that he have ever had in the past also. So then we go into other types of clairvoyances. The Buddha is the one that have perfect understanding of past, present, and future as one. He lives past, present, and future as one. But this is another thing more complex. For now, we see mirror-like wisdom, the ability to perceive everything that appears in a clear way. Okay? So when we think about a Buddha, who is a Buddha? Don't think about the external aspect. A Buddha can have black hair, blonde hair, can be a man, can be a woman, can be tall, can be short, can be beautiful or ugly for our eyes. But a Buddha is someone that has no doubt in any action, certainty in every action, that is constantly perceiving the equanimity between each and every phenomena, that knows to see the difference between each and every phenomena, and that has a complete, clear perception of everything that arrives to him. Okay? This is first of all what is a Buddha. Then there is the 5th wisdom. The 5th wisdom is called the Dharma Dhatu wisdom. Dharma Dhatu wisdom, Dharma means phenomenon, Dhatu means like absolute space, Chogi, yin in Tibetan. It's a difficult word to translate. Okay? We have different words that can be translated as space. Yin, it's a space, but it's like more like absolute type of space. It's a different concept of space. Anyhow, when we talk about Dharma Dhatu, it means the true nature of phenomenon. So when we talk about the Dharma Dhatu wisdom, it's the wisdom of the true nature of reality. We can say like this. The reason why I explained the Dharma Dhatu wisdom as the last one, even though it's Akshobhya and we start from Amoghasiddhi and we jumped from Ratnasambhava to Amitabha, is because while all the other 4 wisdoms, the all-realizing wisdom, the wisdom of equanimity, the wisdom of discernment or discriminating wisdom, and the wisdom of the mirror-like wisdom, they are all aspects of the mind. While the Dharma Dhatu wisdom, it's the mind itself. It's the actual mind. The Dharma Dhatu wisdom of the basis is the mind with mental defilements. The Dharma wisdom of the result is the mind without mental defilements. But the mind is always there. So, what are mental defilements, first of all? The definition of mental defilements, we call it Semraptuma Shivarchebe Nyomombo. Semraptuma Shivarcheba is one of the descriptions of mental defilements. Mental defilements is any mental state that brings the person or brings the mind to a strong state of unpeacefulness. Okay. So anything that brings us to anything from inside of us, any state of mind, any thought, any emotion that brings us to a strong state of unpeacefulness is a mental defilement. So now our mind is full of mental defilements. We have ignorance, selfishness, anger, jealousy, pride, miserliness, and so on. So we have all of this, which are different forms of mental defilements. A Buddha has the full developed Dharma Dhatu wisdom, which means his mind is totally free of any type of mental defilement. There is no ignorance, no selfishness, no anger, no jealousy, no pride, no miserliness, but there is full of wisdom, love, compassion, patience, and so on. Okay. So, when you talk about the Dharma Dhatu wisdom, it means the mind itself. What does that mean? It means that because the Dharma Dhatu wisdom is present at both moments, at the moment of the basis and at the moment of result, it means the mind of, let's say, my mind now, and the mind when I will reach enlightenment, or your mind now and your mind when you will become a Buddha, is the same mind. It's like if we ask ourselves, my mind of 20 years ago, was that my mind or not? Yes. But was it the same mind as the one I have now? No. Are the thoughts the same, the emotions the same, the discernment the same, or they are different? Different. But was that my mind? Yes. So a Buddha, when he looks back and he says, oh yes, when I was there in Albagnano during the teachings, he goes and he says, oh yes, that was my mind. Because the same continuum. That's fundamentally important for us to understand. That reaching enlightenment doesn't mean like switching off and becoming something new. It's the continuity. The example we gave yesterday is like clay. We are now a piece of clay that is not so well shaped. Becoming a Buddha means giving a beautiful shape like a nice vase to that clay. But it's always the same clay. Okay? So in the same way that I can say, oh yes, my mind of 10 years ago, was so confused, or was so clear, now I'm confused, whatever. Okay, let's hope it's the other way around. Similar to that, a Buddha is the one that can go to the past and can say, yes, I had that mind before. But now my mind is clear. I don't have any more ignorance, no more jealousy, no more fear, and so on. So the mind of a Buddha is constantly in a pure state, but this doesn't mean that it's disconnected from what it was before. Okay? That's why we have the Dharma Dhatu wisdom of the basis, which is the mind with the mental defilements, and we have the Dharma Dhatu wisdom of the result, which is the mind without the mental defilements. Okay? So from that, we can see what is a Buddha. We cannot describe a Buddha by his body. We cannot say, a Buddha is tall, is short, it has bald head, or he has white hair, or he has black hair, or he has blonde hair, or a Buddha is Asian, or is African, or European, or whatever, We cannot talk about the Buddha from that aspect. We can only explain a Buddha by explaining his inner qualities mainly. Then there are also the qualities of the body of a Buddha, but that's a little bit different from what we understand as quality of the bodies normally. So, what are the qualities of a Buddha for what we have been seeing now? First of all, a Buddha is someone that his mind is totally clear. No any mental defilement. which means a Buddha is constantly in a state of peace. Is constantly in a state of harmony with oneself and others. There is no any state or anything in his mind that takes away the peace from the mind. Okay. Then, what are the next wisdoms? Buddha has always certainty in every action. A Buddha lives in a total state of equanimity with everything and everyone, seeing what is the similarities between everything. A Buddha, at the same time, sees the differences between each and every phenomena, sees the specific characteristics. And a Buddha is able to have total awareness of each and every phenomena that surrounds him at every moment. Okay, in every aspect. Another aspect of the Buddha, which I was a little bit not so sure to open this door or not open this door, so I just open a little bit, okay? Because if I fully open the door, then it takes a long time to close it again. So we just open a little bit and give a little look inside, then we close. It's not the moment to open completely this subject. A Buddha is the one that has the ability to perceive reality just as it is. What does that mean? For instance, if we take this object, okay? How now I call it a singing ball, okay? That's what normally we call this object. So what happens is that how many possibilities exist in this object right now? Can it be a bowl to give food for the dog? Can it be a bowl for salad? Can it be a stool where we can sit? Can we use it as a weapon to hit someone? Can we use it as raw material to make something else, melt it and do something else? How many possibilities are there right now here? Countless. Okay. If this is not to enter, can it be a sacred object? Can it be an object that brings me sadness? Or can it be an object that brings me joy? Like countless possibilities which exist right now in this very right object. Okay? But in our ignorance, what do? We choose one of these infinite possibilities, of these countless possibilities, we choose one. But we are not aware that we chose one possibility, and we believe that the possibility that we chose is the actual reality. Okay. A Buddha is able at the same time to perceive all the possibilities without losing the perception of one. He sees the singing bowl, but at the same time he knows that this thing can be so many other things, and he can see each and every possibility at the same time. In other words, a Buddha is someone that relates to the relative world as being relative. Okay. A Buddha doesn't grasp at reality as if it was of inherent existence, and much more than that. For a Buddha, nothing appears as being of inherent existence. Things appear to a Buddha just as they are, interdependent. A Buddha for me is like someone that, for whom the law of chaos is not chaotic. You know, we live in the law of chaos, which means the interdependence is so complex that we cannot explain it. A Buddha is someone that can explain it. A Buddha is someone that sees something and knows which were the causes and conditions that made that to be like that. And that see an action and know what are the results that can bring in the future. A Buddha is someone that lives with total awareness of past, present, and future in the same time, that goes beyond even the division of past, present, and future. Because he has full awareness of the relativity of time and space. A Buddha is someone that doesn't live in this relative way of space in which we live, in which we see things as big and small as absolute, when actually they are not. I don't know if it's clear, this concept. It's like when we look to space, we see things in a way and we think that's how things are. But when we go to look, one thing that I like to reflect sometimes that is amazing for me, if I just look into my hand, or if I look into my nail, or my thumb, you look at your nail. And then we say, how much space is in there? And if we start going inside that nail and dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing, there's a whole universe in there. How much can I divide? Like there is the word expand, right? There is a word which doesn't exist in English, but I like to use it, which is inspand, okay? It's like expanding inside, okay? If we go and we start dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing and dividing, we get to the atom, then we divide the atom and we go on and on and on. What's the limit? It's infinite, right? So, which infinite is bigger, the inside one or the outside one? Same. Infinite is always the same. So where is there more space? Inside my nail or outside my nail? Where there is more space? No difference. So if you think that inside your nail there is as much space as there is in the whole universe outside, it's a bit shocking. Then we think our planet's so big, and then you look in the whole universe, it's nothing. But when we think that space is completely relative, but we live in space as if it was absolute, we relate to space as if it was absolute. A Buddha relates to reality in a coherent way. So for a Buddha, space is relative. And he relates to space in that way, as to time. So, in other words, a Buddha is someone that has total coherence with reality, to whom that relates to each and everything just as they are, that can see every phenomena, but at the same time doesn't grab at them as if that's the only reality, that one way, but see all the possibilities at the same time, that is fully connected with the complex interdependence in which we live. So for me, it's the most amazing thing. It's quite difficult truly to understand. It's quite mind-blowing when we start looking at these aspects. But the most important thing is to understand that a Buddha is someone that has reached this true state of peace and harmony with everything. And then a Buddha is the continuity of a sentient being. The mental continuum of a Buddha at some point was someone with ignorance, with suffering, with hatred, just as we are. As we say in the prayer, Lama Michel dala gombarzedo so jdrang deshiki janjo tu ni kebada janjo sembe labala teta rinshin nebatar dagan rolla pende tu janjo semni kegishin janjo sembe labala teta rinshin nebata dagan rolla pende tu janjo there is nebatar dagan rolla pende tu janjo semni labala Rinpoche do labargi, which means or Guru Lama Michel, or Guru Buddha and all your sons bodhisattvas, please listen to me. Just as in the past, all the Buddhas that are Buddhas now, just as in the past, they generated the mind of bodhicitta, of love and compassion towards others, and they acted for the benefits of others, and through that, they gradually reach enlightenment. So today also, I follow the same path. As I generate the mind of bodhicitta, and I follow the path of the perfections, so that I reach enlightenment in the same way as they did in the past. There is a pathway that all the Buddhas have passed, and that we can go follow it also. Because there is not one Buddha that at some point was not where we are. So, this is for me the most beautiful aspect somehow, because it means it's possible for us. Okay? So when we talk about taking refuge in the Buddha, when we talk in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge into enlightenment, it's not just a matter of Buddha as the one that shows us the path, which is true. Because the only one that can show us the path is someone that has already completed the path. No one else can do that. Otherwise, someone that have not completed the path can give us the theory of the path, but cannot show us the path. The only one that can show us the path is the one that has already completed it. But when we talk about the Buddha, it's also showing us the result is like Buddha is a real utopia. It's something that is actually possible. And that we can reach that state. It's showing us our potential. It's showing us the path and the result that we want to reach. It's showing us our goal, the final objective that we need to reach. The pure state that we want to arrive. And that we can do. So this is important for us to make this connection. So when we say in Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, Buddha means a lot. Okay? Just one thing. Again, I don't open the whole door. I just want to just leave something there for you to reflect upon, okay? To truly understand the meaning of a Buddha, the only way is by understanding emptiness. By understanding the lack of inherent existence. Because the Buddha is the one that to whom reality does not appear as being of inherent existence and do not grasp at reality as being of inherent existence. A Buddha is someone that perceives reality in a total, coherent way. Not conceptually, internally, deeply, at every moment. Okay? That's why it is said that for someone to take refuge, someone that is following is more intelligent, like in the sense that needs to follow things by reasoning, before understanding a Buddha and taking refuge in the Buddha, must understand the lack of inherent existence of phenomena and what does it mean to realize emptiness and so on. Okay? So what I want to say is that even to take refuge correctly, to understand emptiness is so important. By understanding better the meaning of emptiness, then we can start to imagine more clearly what is a Buddha, and then we can take refuge more clearly also. Okay? This is just to say there are different levels of steps that we can go through. But what I wanted to bring to you today is just the first step, which is, okay, when I say in Buddha, Dharma and Sangha, the first word in Buddha, what does that mean? And we should at least have some sort of idea. And it must be something that you say, oh, I want that. It really sounds good. And when we say I want that, it means it's connected to me. I can reach that. I can develop that. That's what I want to shape myself into. Okay? And this is a very important passage. Okay? So, we will conclude here for today. As we have seen from the prayer, we were not able to finish the first line today, but just the first word. I had somehow this illusion that we could go through more. Actually, we need quite longer time to go through it, but I hope that tomorrow we can finish this first part, which is in Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, I take refuge into enlightenment. So I hope tomorrow to see what's the meaning of Dharma, what's the meaning of the Sangha, and what's the meaning of taking refuge. We will not go into much details because otherwise we will not conclude that. And then the next day, which is the third day of the teachings, then we can go through the part which, through the practice of generosity and the other perfections, may I reach enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. What's the meaning of that? And then on the fourth day, we go through the meaning of the visualization and the state of consciousness that we should generate as we do the prayer. Okay? So it's one thing that for me it's very beautiful to see how in very few words there is so much meaning together. So much for us to learn. Just today we saw, just to understand the Buddha. It's so deep. The same is for the Dharma, the same is for the Sangha, the same is for taking refuge and so on. But the path is not linear. The path is like in a spiral. You know, we go back and again back to the same point, but from a different perspective. We are higher each time we go through it. So like this prayer, it will accompany us all our path. But each time we make it, as we develop more knowledge, as we develop more experience, as we go along with our practice, we have a deeper understanding. And even it becomes more and more tasteful as we go along. Okay? So we don't need to have the hurry in these 4 days to understand everything. We understand something, but which is already important for us. And if we can get this meaning of Buddha today, that's already a lot for us. Okay? So we will stop here for today. Jetsun lame kutse rapten chi namkar tinle chochur gepadang losan tempe dreme sasungi drove musel taltu ne gyurchi Nimo dele tsendele nime kunyan delek shin Nyinsen taktu delek pe koncho sumge jinge lo koncho sumge ngodrup tsol koncho sumge trashishon. At dawn or dusk, at night or midday, may the three jewels grant us their blessings. May they help us to achieve all realizations and sprinkle the path of our lives with various signs of auspiciousness.